Hey everybody, welcome back to Push and Paint. I'm Jonathan Strong. Thank you so much for joining me again. So today we're doing a little fall landscape. I've got the sky and the back tree line and the clouds all set up, so we're going to work on mid-ground and foreground stuff. This last week I was able to teach my first wine and paint class kind of thing. Had everybody together, a couple people, and had a lot of fun. Usually for those kinds of things you do acrylics. I decided to do oils, which was a lot of mess and a lot of fun, but everybody's paintings really turned out nice, so that was enjoyable. I've got some video clips from the class. You can just see what we were doing. Sometimes you just run out of things to say, but thank you everyone for joining me, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, and that way you get more painting videos and hopefully more of my videos, and you can watch more and enjoy more and paint along with me. So grab your stuff, let's push some paint. So we're gonna do some little trees here, some little trees over here. We're gonna kind of make a tunnel. Okay, I want big trees around everything else, but you know, we'll do some like so. Well guys, it's okay if these kind of get drowned out, because they're not our main focus. They're just kind of there. I don't want them too strong. You know, there we go. Mix a little bit of that medium in there. Lots of little guys down here. Little stuff like this. We'll figure that out so I can see my big honking rock right here. Big old boulder. Right? Well, let's say our path, we'll draw this out. Let's say our path comes along here and comes along the side. Right? Because what's the point of a nice little water area right there if you got no path to walk next to it? And then that comes along this way. Right? Which means we can have all kinds of fun little rocks and things right here. And a big honking tree right there. That's the end. That's our big bravery test at the end. A couple, maybe another big guy right here. Alright, but we got to fill in that little stuff first, right? So we got our basic shape. We're just going to kind of have, you know, our little grasses and stuff here. Alright, so we got some brushes and stuff over here. Brush. We got some brush over here. We need the same kind of thing over here. Let's put a little tree in there. little guys here. I'm not too worried about the branch shape. I know I was kind of careful over here, but not too worried about it. It's all going to kind of fade away. Little stuff like this. I'll come back with that liner here eventually. Don't do that. That's too much thinner. We don't want too much of that. So you don't want to start taking away from our paint, but little guys like here. Little things in there. Okay? We'll kind of work those in. Put some big trees in there in a minute. Pick a spot and just kind of not too much definition. A little bit of the yellow. I'll make a switch. Come over here and do a bit of the dark red. Let's see how we cover that up. Get those brush hairs out of there. Wonderful part about fan brushes, they love to lose the brush hairs. Now we're not doing too much here as far as definition. I might do a little bit here, but brown, some red. We'll come up with our dark colors and do our grasses and stuff here. We start to give our trees some real definition here. Mix those together. Alright, and we'll come in and we'll put some darks in. You see I'm still leaving some gaps though. I'm still leaving some holes. Don't want to make it all 100% opaque. You know, kind of leave your spots there. Leave your... I'll come through and detail that out a little more. Add some bright spots here and there. I don't want my grass to be completely dead, but definitely want some texture in there. We'll come through and add the path once I get more in there. But it's important to have our textures. Boy, that just looks like a mess from there, but we'll see what we can do with it. Make it a little neater. So I so often forget, you know, I get caught up in the process of it all, and I tend to mess up my order of operations. There is a specific order you're supposed to do stuff in. You know, start out with your darks and come in with your lights. This earlier, this is just me doing lots of have all this be darker grass here. Nice. See how that sort of pretties that up a little bit. Come through and keep our shadows in there. Almost a pink. Pretty vibrant, right? Come through and we'll add some details here. Okay, so where we're at now, we did our big decision moment where we put our big tree in there. Again, I don't want to take out all my stuff. This is tricky because I'm covering up paint with paint. Now, normally I might let the shop towel sit on the canvas for a minute and absorb some of that excess oil, but I'm trying a bit of a different approach. So there we go. Just kind of, let me see, I just kind of draw that out and just kind of make those branches go every which way, and it picks up that lighter paint underneath. So we really got to be careful to go back to our palette. Make sure we've got a good amount on there. Come down, and it'll put the right amount of paint on the canvas. See, what I'm doing is I'm taking the excess paint and bringing it down and end up pulling most of it off the canvas. I guess I shouldn't be too worried if there's weird little branches here and there, because these guys are going to have some leaves on them. And we're going to let that back stuff dry a little bit. A little roll of paint. Let's start over here with this guy, and we got our hand up like so, right on the edge. Putting our highlights in like that. Don't be afraid to go a little weird with the color, you know. It just kind of creates that texture. I might come through and hit these guys with the brush a little bit, so I don't want to lose all my shadow. I got all that pretty dark bark on there. And so this is just adding that little bit of flavor to our tree. That illusion of bark. I don't feel like painting all the bark, which you can do if you feel like painting bark. Feel free, but I'm not doing it. Maybe someday paint an entire bark's worth of tree, but get on the extreme highlight. You see how that really makes that tree pop? Really brings it close. Put this one out there too. Give him a little bit of these. Can't leave this guy. There we go. Little bits of that highlight. And we're going to do some reflected light on the backside. So we take this wonderful brown and black mixture and put in a bit of blue. Which gives us a kind of green color. mud. But what that does is gives us our reflected light. Really makes those trees take on a whole different dimension of realism. I mean, I guess realism, artistry, I don't know. But little bits in there. That gives us that backside color. Come over here and hit this guy. Same thing. Gives him that texture. We're gonna let those dry for a day first because I got some medium in there, so it'll be tacky by tomorrow. I don't want to lose all my trunk, right? So I don't want to lose all those branches. I want to paint over them, not through them, I guess. So I'll leave those for tomorrow. So what else can we do right now? Well, now the important thing is going to be on this big old rock to give it character, you know, nice and bold and dark up front. Yeah, I'll come back to these guys tomorrow, but I can still work on stuff while I'm here. Plenty to do. Come down here and give him a bit more. There we go. See how I'm sort of using my, I can just pebble him up down there. Lots of little shadows. You can see what I'm doing. Just little, adding a little dirt kind of path. Just getting that on there so I've got it established. Right? And I can paint over it again with any number of shadows and grasses and everything like that. You see how it just kind of fills in the space there. Okay, so as you can see right now, I'm just adding some shadows and highlights to these rocks down here. Not the most interesting thing to watch in the world, but just using a semi-small brush, kind of making little bits of see those add just little highlights here and there. And this gives us that dimension to our rocks and lets us know that it's not just a flat surface. You know, we can have some highlights and shadows down here. Bring those down a little bit just to have that bright edge. Anyway. Some more gnarliness on this big boulder here. I've just taken, I got a mix of white and blue and a little bit of brown, and it gets kind of, maybe a little bit of black in there just to get that gray like I want it. And then I take these jagged edges here. Give myself little bits of highlight and shadow within the rock itself. See, I can just add some more dimension to it. And then it can just sort of fade into black and gray down here. It's like a couch. It's like a rock couch. And we just come up here and we add some, we like this blue color. Come down here, make it this grayish blue. It's a little more hidden. Just little bits here and there, and I might come through with a liner brush and touch them up a bit. And I've got a little bit of the brown and mixed in there too. A little bit of the raw umber, and I can make these guys a little bit different colors, because all rocks aren't really the same color, you know. They might all be pretty similar in this area because they all, at one point in time, they might have all belonged to the same big chunk. So who knows? Little, you can make them. The more you blend it, the smoother it looks. And if you want it to look more rough, then we just there. Okay, we got our little rocks there. Coming down this side. Our rocks have got a highlighted side and a shadowed side. And the highlights we just barely see on the edge. See, my bristles aren't really sticking together too much because this brush is kind of fried, but that's okay. I'm not really too worried about it. I'm just adding some little odds and ends here. Some little areas of deep shadow, I guess you could call it, where the I can even tell you what we can do. We can take a bit of our browns, and we could put a little bit right here. Okay. You take a bit of that there. We touch it up with some highlights here, right? Maybe gets a bit darker towards the bottom. Just a little crevice here where dirt's managed to fall. Right? I guess that's tough to see. Let's zoom in. You can see what I'm doing. And we use this jacked up brush here and just kind of a little bit more. Just a little bit of green in there. We're going to take our brush that we were using. Make sure he's nice and clean. Now what I want on here is a mix of sap green and our color. Pretty dark green, okay? But I'm just gonna put little bits of it here, a little bit of it there. And then what we do on top of that, we come here and we make our make sure that brush is nice and wild, and just little bits of green. I like more yellow, I think. Yeah. We're just gonna hit it with a bit of that. Come through and make little bits of moss on some of these rocks. I just got little odds and ends worth of moss here. Okay, we're back again, and let our stuff dry just a little. It's still tacky, but it's not oily. It's not coming off on my finger even at all. So that's because we mixed that medium with it, and that gives us our nice quick drying mix. We're over on this one, and we're just doing our background stuff here. And lots of comma strokes. I guess you got to think of it like this: we're losing leaves now, so not all. Now we're gonna put some other little branches and stuff in here, so we're gonna kind of make our structure how we want it to be. And these are just our background leaves, and then we're going to put our bright stuff over top. So, is it okay if the color changes? Absolutely. You don't want it so drastic, but come through and add these little guys here. And this just gives us our nice bright leaves. Make some really bright ones here with the sun coming through. I'm trying not to dot the canvas too much, because I don't like that look. I know I've seen videos on the, those little 5-minute craft videos or whatever, where the guy's painting something and he's using, oh, you can do it with cotton swabs, and that's great if you want every single leaf to look absolutely the same, completely uniform, whether you're looking at it from a distance or right next to it. If you want your painting to look like that, go for it. But if you want some character and some creativity, then take the time and make your brush strokes, make your comma strokes, do the don't take too many shortcuts. It's okay to take a few. It's okay to do the occasional trick, But remember that art isn't supposed to be easy necessarily. It comes with effort. So if you're not putting forth the effort, are you going to be really satisfied when it's done? I mean, it's half the fun of it is putting the effort out there and then saying, yep, I did that, and being able to look at it later on and say, that was all me. I did that effort. You know, I made that happen. You know what? I think I might want to keep this other tree almost dead. I might throw a few leaves on there, but I'm gonna make it I'm gonna put some nice gnarly looking branches on there. That means frequent trips back to the palette. Make sure I've got my dark color on there, not my light color. Make sure my brush is clean. It's okay to have a little bit of the background on your brush, I guess, but not too much, because if you get too much of it, it'll put other colors in your tree trunks there. You don't want that necessarily. It's okay once in a while. Get a little move there. Some broken branches maybe. Just these short little guys that look like they had the bad end of a storm. Add a little touch of shadow underneath there, because I want that to look like a pile. So little bits of dark. Not super dark, not black. I've got black on the, not black, but I've got my really dark mix here on the bottom, or on the palette, but I don't necessarily need to use it. Just little touches. I've got a really light color on the brush. I'm just touching the road with little bits of it, because there's little touches of light coming through, little light areas of dirt, whatever you want to call it. Little parts where that path gets a little sandy, right? But I don't necessarily want it to stick out so much. See how that looks? It's all very bright. So I'm just going to blend those in a little bit, so they're more soft. Now we're getting into the detail part up here in front. So your details get a little bit crisper, but still soft. Still soft, because that's the look we're going for. Well guys, I think that's pretty much it for this one. I think that's finished. I've just got to put my signature on it, which I forgot to do, but that's easy to do. It takes me a couple seconds. So, hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. I guess snow paintings are coming soon. It's getting pretty cold out there, so hopefully we'll do maybe one more fall one here, and then we'll get into some winter stuff. I've got some portraits I want to do and some other things like that. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Share it on the social medias and all that, so I can get my subscriber numbers up there. I don't know how else to do it. You know, it's exhausting. Anyway, thank you everybody, and as always, keep on pushing paint around.